ITCOIN El Salvador SV podcast, a space for conversation and reflection where we explore current topics from El Salvador and the world together with a fluid and easy to understand intellectual curiosity. Find us for free on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, or on your favorite platform. Find us on PayPal with the username PayPal205186. Write it all together, PayPal20255186. Remember, your contributions help pay the bills so we can provide content. We are ITCOIN El Salvador SV. Follow us, share, and comment.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and bring you some really compelling insights about what's happening in El Salvador and how it connects to bigger global trends. Today, we're looking at quite a mix: economic forecasts, social challenges, even tech and culture. Okay, let's unpack this.
It's always fascinating, isn't it, to see how a country's daily pulse, its ups and downs, it really mirrors these larger global shifts. The information we have paints a really rich picture of current events. Things are definitely happening. Our goal here is to kind of distill it all down for you, make it clear and understandable.
Exactly. And we've got a great range today. We'll touch on the economy, government moves, public safety, which is always key, social well-being, and even a peek into tech and culture. All centering around today, September 10th, 2025. We're here to help you navigate it. Let's kick things off with the economy. Always a good place to start for a sense of direction, right? The Central American Monetary Council is projecting El Salvador's economy to grow by 2.9% in 2025. That sounds, pretty promising in the current climate. What's behind that number?
It is promising. And what's interesting is that it's not really an outlier. It fits into a broader regional picture. Central America and the Dominican Republic together, they're expected to grow about 3.4% in 25 and 26. And that's even with all these global trade tensions simmering. Internally, for El Salvador, a big piece of this seems to be the Fondo Social para la Vivienda, the social housing fund. It's hit $1 billion in credits now. That's huge. It's directly helped, 55,000 Salvadoran families? That's a massive impact on households, on stability.
Wow, 55,000 families. That really puts it in perspective. And speaking of driving the economy, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We're seeing these clear moves to attract more investment, but also to support the Salvadoran diaspora. Like, the Ministry of Finance just put out a new guide for banks. It's about handling taxes from foreign agents, basically, foreign businesses or investors operating there, streamlining things. And there was an editorial stressing how important benefits to the diaspora and retornados are, for Salvadorans abroad or coming back. It's framed as aiming for sustainable, safe returns. It seems very strategic.
Absolutely. That focus on the diaspora is smart long-term thinking. And connecting that to the broader economy, the digital side is definitely growing. Think about this. 30,000 packages arriving daily because of digital commerce. That tells you a lot about consumption, purchasing power, integration into online markets. It's a real shift. On the flip side, though, there's also this reported 45% decrease in energy exports to the region.
Oh, 45%. That's quite a drop. What might be behind that?
Yeah, it's significant. It could mean a few things. Maybe internal demand is up because of that growth we talked about, or perhaps it's a shift in energy policy, or even something happening in the regional market. Yeah. It's one of those details that signals something deeper might be changing in the energy sector. Worth watching.
Okay, so growing digital commerce, but maybe shifting energy dynamics. And what about the, let's say, more unconventional ventures?
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin City. We heard Legeo put $4.2 million into it.
Ah, yes, Bitcoin City. That $4.2 million from Legeo, the geothermal company, it definitely shows there's still government backing for the project. It's been a bit quiet on progress reports sometimes, but this investment suggests they're still pushing it. What it signifies, really, is this ongoing strategy to diversify, to attract capital through these, bolder, maybe higher risk initiatives. Is it a future economic engine or more experimental? Still an open question, I'd say, but it keeps El Salvador in the headlines.
Definitely keeps them in the headlines. Okay, shifting gears a bit now. Let's move from economics to governance and public safety. Huge areas, obviously. El Salvador is reaffirming its commitment to working on migratory issues. Always a complex topic. What does that look like on the ground?
Well, it brings up cooperation, but also accountability, frankly. We learned the U.S. paid El Salvador $4.7 million. This was under an agreement to use the ITCOIN facility, the large anti-gang prison, to hold up to 300 Venezuelan migrants deported from the U.S. And now, that deal's getting scrutinized. U.S. congressmen are asking questions about the money, the conditions. It touches on international relations, humanitarian concerns.
$4.7 million. Yeah, you can see why there'd be scrutiny there. And internally, what about governance itself?
Right. Well, Vice President Felix Yohe made a point recently. He emphasized that digitalization, innovation, and transparency are, in his words, indispensable instruments to combat corruption. So there's a stated internal push for efficiency, for modernization, and crucially, for cleaner government.
Okay, so international agreements under the microscope and an internal push for transparency. Now, security. Big news here. The Navy seized 1.4 tons of cocaine. Estimated value, $35 million. That's massive.
It absolutely is a huge blow to trafficking networks. That kind of seizure disrupts things significantly. But, the reality on the ground is complex. Locally, challenges persist. The PNC, the National Police, reported a homicide of a 21-year-old in Nuevo Cuscatlán, and they're investigating the murder of a woman in La Libertad. So even with big wins like the drug bust, local crime remains a serious, tragic concern.
Right. It's that difficult balance, isn't it? National successes versus the very real local incident.
Exactly. And then there's the international dimension, too. Some sources mention claims from Donald Trump about members of Tren de Aragua, that Venezuelan gang, being eliminated in some ship attack, and another claim about a U.S. attack on a drug boat. Whether those claims are fully verified or not, they point to this wider regional struggle against cross-border crime. It's not just an El Salvador issue.
It really paints a picture of security as this multi-layered challenge, big international operations, ongoing local crime, and claims swirling around regional activities. A lot to manage.
Okay, let's turn now towards social well-being and public health. This often gets to the heart of things, doesn't it? We're seeing specialists urging the government to recognize suicide as a public health problem. That feels like an important step.
It really does. Calling it a public health problem opens the door for dedicated resources, for prevention strategies, for reducing the stigma. It's crucial. And it's encouraging to see university students getting involved, too, with that forum themed, "There is hope in the face of suicide." That's proactive.
It is. And looking outward, are there parallels or things happening elsewhere in public health that are relevant? Well, yes, you see different approaches globally, like China just launched its own 9-valent HPV vaccine. That's a big push in preventative medicine. Not directly comparable, maybe, but it shows how other nations tackle large-scale prevention. Then you have Spain considering banning smoking on bar terraces, changing social norms through policy. And demographically, Beijing's elderly population just passed 5 million. That highlights the aging society challenge, something El Salvador will also face eventually, needing planning and healthcare and social support.
Good points. These global snapshots show how public health is always evolving. Now, what about the environment? El Salvador signed an agreement with the Netherlands on water management. That sounds significant.
Oh, absolutely significant.
What?
Water is such a critical resource, especially with climate change. Partnering with the Netherlands, who are, let's face it, world experts in water management, that brings invaluable expertise and technology. It's about long-term security, protecting ecosystems, building resilience.
Makes sense. And on a more immediate environmental note,
Well, day to day, we've got weather reports, cloudy skies, drizzles expected in San Salvador, tropical waves bringing rain elsewhere. That affects daily life, agriculture. Sadly, there was also that incident with the dead humpback whale calf found on Barra de Santiago Beach. Environmental workers had to remove it, a stark reminder of marine ecosystem fragility. And of course, the San Salvador volcano is always there, a latent risk the country lives with.
so long-term planning with water, immediate weather impacts, and these sort of poignant environmental events, plus the underlying geological risks, it's a full plate. All right, let's touch briefly on tech, culture, and sports. We're seeing reports that global electricity demand for AI is set to shoot up, then maybe stabilize. What does that tell us?
It tells us AI is becoming foundational infrastructure, basically, like electricity or the internet itself. It's going to consume a lot of power initially. And we see AI's impact ripple everywhere. There are reports, for example, about Meta potentially hiding studies on child safety in VR. That raises huge ethical questions, doesn't it? About corporate responsibility, user safety in these new digital realms.
Definitely serious ethical questions. And on the innovation side,
Oh, it's nonstop. Acer's pushing out AI tablets, new monitors, Wi-Fi 7. Apple just launched the iPhone 17 Air. It's this constant race in consumer tech, embedding AI deeper into our lives. And these things, they eventually reach everywhere, changing how people connect and work, El Salvador included.
constant innovation, constant ethical debates alongside it. Okay, and away from tech screens, what about the sports field?
Well, on the football pitch, El Salvador's national team unfortunately lost to Suriname in the World Cup qualifiers. And there's also some concerning talk about potential consequences over alleged racist insults directed at the Suriname players during or around the match.
Oh, that's unfortunate on both counts. The loss, especially the reports of racism.
Yeah, sports can really reflect the best and sometimes the worst aspects of society, can it? That kind of incident highlights the need for respect. On a lighter cultural note, you've got events like Nathaniel Colano's upcoming concert showing the music scene is active. And believe it or not, it's the 30th anniversary of Toy Story.
Toy Story. Wow, 30 years. That does make you feel old. It shows how culture travels and endures, though.
Exactly. Shared stories, shared nostalgia.
Okay, what a wide-ranging discussion today. We've gone from economic growth projections and major drug seizures to really vital conversations on public health, mental health, the environment, and this rapidly changing tech world, all shaping El Salvador.
Yeah, and when you pull back and look at all these threads together, it's clear El Salvador is navigating this really complex moment. Growth, yes, but also significant challenges, all while adapting to global forces. You really see the interconnectedness, global trade affecting the local economy, international agreements on migration, global tech trends influencing culture and ethics locally. It's all linked.
So what's the takeaway for you listening in? It's really about looking beyond just one headline. It's about seeing how these different pieces, economic, social security, tech, fit together. They form this larger story about progress, about governance, about, well, the human experience in a world that's changing incredibly fast.
And that rapid pace, especially in economics and tech, it brings amazing potential, right? But it also forces these tough societal questions. How does a country like El Salvador balance that speed? How do you ensure the benefits are shared fairly, that well-being is protected for everyone? And what role should these powerful new tools like AI actually play in finding that balance? That's something to think about.
Find us for free on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, or on your favorite platform. Find us on PayPal with the username PayPal202586. Write it all together, PayPal202586. Remember,